Jonah, thank you for coming up here for the second time and sharing your extensive experiences with self-improvement with all of us and giving us a message. Jonah talked to me before the speech, and he asked me to focus mainly on the presentation and the delivery because he felt a little bit underprepared in terms of content. So I'm going to focus on the presentation, but then at the end I think I'm going to talk a little bit about the content, the structure of it, and how you can do a lot with the structure in a little bit of time for the future. But first, the presentation. I thought you have a very advanced set of skills for a speaker who's only done 2 speeches at Toastmasters. And you probably already know this, but you just have a very good social presence and social awareness. Your volume, your pacing, your rhythm was all really well done. You had a nice use of pauses. It didn't feel like you were nervous or flustered, and you didn't feel stiff. You felt like you had a good energy that was just a little bit above the energy level of the room, which is really where you want to be to kind of pull the audience up a little bit, but not so much that you're disconnected from them. You had very strong eye contact at points in your speech, especially when you were talking to people. I noticed you would make like a whole sentence just latched onto one person, which is very good. But then when you were thinking or doing something else or kind of lost in your train of thought, you had a tendency to look down. So I would watch that a little bit. The other thing that you do absentmindedly is pace around a little bit, and your gestures tend to be a little bit unintentional, just kind of movement, random noise movement of your arms. So try to focus in the future on making more intentional, bigger gestures that emphasize your points. So that's all the presentation stuff. In general, really good job. In terms of the structure, I think you did a lot of things really well. You had a hook at the beginning with your little confession joke that got everybody's attention. You had a clear call to action, write down a list of all this stuff. You had a strong conclusion. No guru can tell you who you are, blah, blah, blah. But I think in terms of structure, the one thing that really struggled was I wasn't entirely sure what the purpose of the speech was. I think the title was Improve Yourself by Trying Not to Improve Yourself, but at points you were asking us to like write down lists of how to improve yourself, and that felt a little self-improvement-y. And there were other points where I felt like you were either trying to persuade me of something or trying to motivate me of something, and it felt a little bit ramshackle. What I would suggest to do if you don't have a whole lot of time in the future is write down your list, your speech in just 6 bullet points with a Sharpie. Right? And then it's very simple. You don't need to write out the whole speech, but you just have the main points. If you're trying to persuade somebody, it's like point 1, point 2, point 3 thesis. If you're trying to get them to do something, how to do it, it's like step 1, step 2, step 3. Here's how to do it. And if you're trying to motivate them, it's usually more story-based, which is, you had a lot of, I feel like all 3 aspects sprinkled throughout. So I would suggest focusing on one of them and just write it out real big in a Sharpie so you can't forget it. Anyway, I have some more comments, but I'll talk to you after the meeting. Thank you so much for sharing, Madam General, about you.